to the fringe contenders. So they're in the playoffs. They're solid 4 through 6, but not quite in the level as the top 3. Let's look at 4 through 6. I've got the Sacramento Kings as the 6th seed. Listen, Sacramento was the surprise of the NBA last season. I don't think there's any question about that, given the fact that they had the best offense in NBA history, historically, when you look at the numbers. De'Aaron Fox was the clutch player of the year last season. Mike Brown was the coach of the year, unanimous coach of the year, rightfully so, in my opinion, last year. Domantas Sabonis had a big-time season as well. And I still think this team will be, I have no reason to believe that this team won't be great in terms of scoring. Once again, I do have questions about them defensively. And frankly, I'll be honest with you, I do have questions about Domantas Sabonis, whether or not Golden State kind of exposed him a little bit in the playoffs as sort of just like a one-trick pony in the regular season, because he had a terrible series against my Warriors in that first-round series last year. But look, this team can win a shootout with any team in basketball. I don't care who they are. Malik Monk coming off the bench. Keegan Murray, I really, really buy into this kid and what he brings to the table. So I think he'll be an impact player for years to come for the Sacramento Kings. And I think Mike Brown's one of the better coaches. Mike Brown, by the way, defensive-minded coach, so maybe Sacramento can get it right at some point on that side of the floor, but I do think they're a playoff team. I do have them as the 6th seed. 5 seed, I've got the Memphis Grizzlies. So there's the Ja Morant suspension. That's the elephant in the room. He's docked for the first 25 games due to some off-court stuff on Instagram Live. But I do like the talent. Now, they lost Steven Adams for the season. I read the news on Sunday that he had a knee surgery. He'd be missing the entirety of this NBA season, which sucks. Steven Adams is one of the most likable guys in the league, so I hate that for him. Listen, they did move on from the albatross that Wart used to wear number 24. They moved on from him, so they're in a good spot in that regard. But I do have some questions about Taylor Jenkins situationally in the playoffs. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a great defensive player, great shot blocker, great rebounder. Dude can't stay out of foul trouble. And they move on from Tyus Jones. But again, Memphis has experience without Ja Morant. I do think had Tyus Jones still been there, I swear to you, I'd have them in that discussion as the 3 or 4 seed, even with Ja down for the first 25. He will eventually come back. I do think he'll have a solid season in the he's probably not going to play all 57 games when he comes back, but however much action he gets when he comes back, I do think Ja will play well, and the Grizzlies will be right back in sort of that middle tier in the Western Conference. That's where I've got them. And then the Phoenix Suns. I know a lot of experts out there are rolling their eyes at this. You got Phoenix as the 4 seed in the Western Conference. No question about it, and I don't even think it's arguable. They are not on the level of Denver. They are not on the level of the Lakers. They are not on the level of my Warriors. Is the talent there? Kevin Durant's spectacular. I think he's the 15th greatest player ever. They've got Bradley Beal, who I don't think is going to play tonight due to some back issues. Devin Booker, we know what he brings to the table. He had a ridiculous playoff run last year. He was putting up some of the greatest shooting splits we've ever seen in the history of the playoffs. Here's the problem. They still don't have a point guard. Here's another problem. They moved on from DeAndre, in which you understand that to a certain extent, given the locker room stuff. There was just a disconnect between him and the organization. You understand why they moved on. But in favor of Yusuf Nurkic, who can't stay healthy to save his life, who ends every single season. Again, knock on wood for him. I like Nurkic as a human being. Nurkic cannot stay healthy to save his life. That's been a real issue for them. Kevin Durant can't stay healthy. Beal can't stay healthy. I don't love their bench. It's better than it was last year when they made the Durant deal. And I do like Frank Vogel. I thought the Lakers did him dirty. I think he should still be the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers over Darvin Ham. But I think overall there's some serious, I always say I have a rule on this show that if I have more questions than answers about where you're at as a team, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, the whole bit, college football, college sports as a whole, that I do not buy you as a contender. That is exactly how I feel about the Phoenix Suns. I do not believe that they are on the echelon of the teams I'm going to mention 1, 2, and 3 in the Western Conference. So that's where I've got 4, 5, 6. Phoenix can be talented enough. Again, I've got them right there winning 49 games. So on the fringe of 50 wins, they're talented enough to get that talent alone, as well as good coaching with Vogel, will get them to a certain point, but I do not buy them as a team that can put together a long playoff run or even a great regular season for that matter. You're going to hear Phoenix is going to be that team, folks, where there's always one team a year where this is the case. Phoenix is going to be the team where all season long they'll have some clunky games. They'll have some bad defensive performances. Well, they'll turn it on in the playoffs. What if they simply don't have the personnel to do so? That's my question. By the way, Beal's bad defensively. Booker's okay defensively, but not exactly going to be mistaken with Drew Holiday. And Kevin Durant is 35 years of age. He is 35 years of age. That's not It's not in his DNA at this stage of his career. So way more questions than answers about the Suns coming into this season. So I've got them at the 4 seed, followed by Memphis at 5 and Sacramento at 6. So the top of the Western Conference to me, undeniably, in this order, the 3 best teams out west, starting at number 3, the Los Angeles Lakers. I do have them slated to win 50 games this season. So LeBron coming back for year 21. We understand the smack talk that a lot of people have for LeBron. Oh my God, he got swept again. Well, look, it's not exactly a bad thing, or I shouldn't say a bad thing. It's not an embarrassment to get swept by the Denver Nuggets, considering what they did to just about everybody they faced in the playoffs, and considering the fact that your second best player, Anthony Davis, is he's coin flip Davis, but more on him in just a second. But LeBron's coming back. I mean, we forget because he had an up and down the playoffs. His highs were really high. I mean, he had a huge game 6 to close out my Warriors in the second round, had a massive 40-point game in which he played all but 4 seconds in year 20. It's unbelievable what this guy can do, folks, against the Denver Nuggets in that closeout game 4 in Los Angeles. But I like some of the moves the Lakers made this offseason. They obviously brought back Rui Hachimura. They brought back Austin Reeves. I wish they would have brought back Schroeder over D'Angelo Russell. I think Schroeder's a better fit on the defensive side of the ball. Doesn't give you the offensive impact Russell does. Russell's really a hit-and-miss player from night to night. He can go 10 for 12. He could go 1 for 12. You never know which guy you're going to get any given night for him. But then again, he is a role player, so that's to be expected. And they added Gabe Vincent, who I really like. Is like a true blue point guard to really, because D'Lo is more of a 2 in that regard, kind of a hybrid type of player. So Gabe Vincent will work for them in that spot. I don't think the Christian Wood addition is near as big as people are giving it credit for. Listen, there's a reason the guy was available in September. Okay, a lot of teams could have picked him up. Dallas could have brought him back. Evidently, they didn't like what they saw there. A lot of teams could have picked Christian Wood up, but the Lakers were like, you know what? I guess we'll pick him up since he's the best free agent left in the market. But I do like where they are. They were the best defensive team in the NBA last year when they made all of those trades. I think that'll return again for them this year. I really like Jared Vanderbilt, by the way. Listen, it's all going to come down for the Lakers in terms of title contention to a guy. I'll put myself on the screen real quick. A guy I like to call, put this coin in the air. Coin flip Davis, who just flipped the coin. Okay, it landed on tails. That's not good, Lakers fans. He's going to struggle tonight against Denver. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you. If it's tails, that tails never fails. That's nonsense, okay? It's nonsense. Okay, tails almost always fails, at least when I flip the coin. Maybe it's a me problem. I don't know. But you never know what you're going to get from Anthony Davis. You could get one of the 5 best players in the league one night, and a guy who you're like, well, who is this dude? Is this the backup center for the Lakers? Is this guy a guy masquerading as AD, putting on a fake unibrow? What's going on here? But he's still one of the 12 best players of basketball. LeBron, I'm seeing these lists, folks. Talking about LeBron, is he, I saw one list had LeBron as like the 16th best player in basketball. What games are you guys watching? The man did average 28, 8, and 7 last year. In the back half of that season, dealing with a knee issue. I'm sorry, an ankle issue late season. So LeBron's going to be great. This Lakers team is very talented. I have massive questions about Darvin Ham at head coach, but I like where they are in terms of depth. LeBron is still LeBron. He's going to give you I'm going to give him a stat line of 25 and 8, 25, 8 and 7. I'll dock him 3 points because he is in year 21 after all, but he had the greatest year 19 ever, greatest year 20 ever, and no reason to believe he won't have the greatest year 21 in the history of the NBA. And I don't care. Everybody says, folks, that's the greatest basketball player to ever live. We can have that discussion another day. Real quick before I get to my Warriors, got a comment from Philip Chenal. What's up, Philip? He's a big Lakers fan. He's in the comments. He says, I think if Davis stays healthy, and he's got if in all caps, he is going to win MVP. Wow. Okay. Big prediction. Listen, I've been waiting for Anthony Davis to be in that MVP discussion for some time. He missed his first year due to injury. So 2013. So this will be year 11 of actually year 12 technically, but year 11 in terms of him actually playing basketball games for Anthony Davis. I've kind of waited for him to be in that discussion. Maybe this will be the year, but again, I don't trust Anthony Davis physically. And we know LeBron is not going to play 65, 70 games, which we know you need to play in order to qualify for awards. AD ain't no way he's playing 65 games this year. No way it's happening. Golden State Warriors, my Golden State Warriors, Dub Nation, stand up. I've got us as the 2 seed in the Western Conference, winning one more game than the Lakers, 51-31 as with the final record. I know everybody, it's the tale as old as time every single season. We're talking about the Nuggets, rightfully so. They're the defending champions. Give them their respect. We're talking about the Lakers and the Suns. Out east, we're talking about the Bucks and the Celtics. A lot of these teams, rightfully so. I've heard some teams talk about, hey, Memphis may be a contender when Ja comes back. No, they're not. And we're just forgetting about this team residing in the Bay Area. And we forget that Golden State last season, literally everything short of one of their best players going down with an injury in the playoffs, everything short of that went haywire for him last season. Steph missed 20-plus games due to injury. Draymond dealt with some injury issues. We know that the elephant in the room with him and Jordan Poole. I read in recent reports saying that they didn't speak. They were on speaking terms for 2 months. You get the cancer that was Jordan Poole out of the locker room, as well as the bad shot taker out of the locker room. And again, for Golden State, and I kept saying this, that there's not one big move the Warriors need to make to be back in contention the following season, that being this season. Chris Paul wasn't a colossal, this huge earth-shattering deal to the level that, say, a Kevin Durant trade to Phoenix was. No question about it. But my questions for Golden State, all of them were answered. Dang, they need some veterans. Oh, they added Chris Paul. They added Dario Saric. They added these guys who have been there and done that around the NBA. Man, they could really use a good backup point guard to Steph and a good six-man. Oh, they traded for Chris Paul. Man, they need size. Oh, they added Dario Saric. They drafted Trace Jackson Davis, so I'm telling you, it's going to get minutes this year. All of the questions I had about my Warriors this season, all the things, by the way, brought back Draymond Green in the offseason, which was huge for this Warriors team. And I said all offseason, I said, if they do not bring Draymond Green back, this is not a contender. He's that crucial. He's that important to this basketball team. In my view, he's been the second most important player to this dynasty since 2014-15 season. Steph, obviously, number one at that list. I put Draymond at number two with respect to Klay Thompson. Golden State Warriors, obviously, we know Steve Curry. He's one of the best coaches of basketball. Steph, come on. What else we need to say about Steph? He's the sixth greatest player ever with a championship. He can move himself into that space as the greatest point guard of all time. Philip says, before I move on to Denver, Philip says, biggest question for y'all, Bryson, is Steph Curry's health. Perfectly legitimate question. I understand that, but I guess my retort to that is health problems have not plagued Steph in the playoffs recently. I think the last time Steph missed a game due to injury in the playoffs was 2018. He missed the whole first round against the Spurs with an injury, a lower body injury they suffered in the regular season. So listen, knick-knack injuries for Steph have not come back to plague him and really hurt him in the playoffs in quite some time. So, and by the way, I've seen a lot of Warriors fans, hey, this is going to be an MVP year for Steph. No, it's not. Steph is at the stage of his career, just like LeBron, just like Kevin Durant, where you're going to play 50, 55, 60 max. And I mean max. Even this, I'm not sure would be smart. 65 games. Steph is going to be 36 years old in March. Doesn't look like he's slowing down by any stretch of the imagination, but he is going to be 36 in March. The Warriors aren't going to try and get Steph an MVP. He's already got 2 of them. Okay, that part of his career has kind of come to a close. It's the win as many championships as I can stage of Steph's career. So I think he'll be on somewhat of I know there's a new rules by the NBA in terms of load management. I think they'll take that seriously in that regard. So Steph will be ready to go when it's all said and done by the time mid-April comes and the playoff comes around. He will lead the Warriors to the 2 seed in the Western Conference. And at number 1, the defending NBA champion Denver Nuggets. Not much not to like about this basketball team. By the way, their game tips off in about in about an hour. They're going to get their rings tonight. So congratulations to them. Nikola Jokic today as we sit here. And again, this is a what have you done for me lately discussion. Janet Jackson, what have you done for me? I don't want this thing to get taken down for copyright. Point is, Nikola Jokic as we sit here today is the best player in all basketball. He put together one of the greatest individual playoff runs that we have ever seen by a player. Jamal Murray, coming off of that ACL tear, was spectacular last year, particularly in the playoffs, in which, with all due respect to Jokic, who proved me dead wrong about those MVPs, Jamal Murray should have been, in my view, been the MVP of the Western Conference Finals, given what he did to a great Lakers defense in that series. But Jamal, I think this could be his breakout season. He's going to be an all-star this year. Aaron Gordon, we saw the impact he had, especially on the defensive end, had some big games. That game 4 had a huge performance against the Miami Heat. You got Christian Brown coming off the bench, really good bench player for them. They did lose Bruce Brown, which I think is a bigger loss than people give them credit for. If Bruce had stayed around, I swear I think I have the Nuggets winning 60 games this year because he was that crucial for them coming off the bench. He ended up with the Indiana Pacers, which I forgot to mention when I was talking about Indiana. But Michael Malone is an excellent coach. I've been saying that for a while, for many, many years in the show. He's an excellent head coach. Jokic, we know what he brings to the table. Jamal Murray is one of the better complementary stars to a superstar that we've seen in recent NBA memory. And the Denver Nuggets, I have no reason to believe that they will be right back at the top of the Western Conference and right back in the championship discussion. in the Western Conference and in the NBA as a whole. So 1 through 3. So to me, the 3 best teams in the Western Conference from 1 to 3, Nuggets, Warriors, Lakers. Not the Suns. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.